Hi guys, it's Martin here from Electronics. In today's video I'm going to show you how to repair a very common alternator fitted in Hyundai Santa Fe's in all diesel engines manufactured from 01 onwards. Why am I making this video? It's because it's a quite common fault, it's easily fixable, parts are available, all tools you need is just a soldering iron and few basic tools. And there's only one alternator fitting on all of them Hyundai's diesels, Hyundai Santa Fe's diesels. There's no other types or no other manufacturers, there's only one very common alternator on them. Now, so let's move on. Guys, this is the alternator we are talking about. As you can see, it has a vacuum pump at the back and in front has a clutch pulley. There's two lugs, one here, very heavy one, and other one, smaller one on the top there. If you guys want to check a clutch pulley in that alternator, just follow the link in the description. It'll bring you to my other video showing how to check clutch pulleys in the alternators. And in this case, simply just put the screwdriver down in there, and you can take the cap off, and you see you have the splines there and all. You can check your clutch pulley then. Now, it's very commonly seen in them alternators that they stop charging. The red light will come on the dash, and the battery will run flat. Now, when you take the alternator out of all of them that I have seen, there's only one problem in them. The reg and the rectifier are burnt and they have to be replaced. Now, I've already taken it apart and I know that's the problem, but I never seen anything else going in them. So what we start off with taking the vacuum pump off. Now, there's three bolts holding it. There's one here, one there, and one on the bottom. We have our 10 socket here. We'll take them off. Now we have our pump loosened. It'll come off quite easily. There's a seal on the bottom. Now there's no need to mark the pump what way it fits around, because the holes are asymmetric. So there's no two ways that pump can fit on the alternator. Now when we pump off, see our alternator here. What we have to do now to take it apart is to take 4 Phillipses out of it. One here, one there, and one on the bottom. They are Phillipses unusual, but that's what they use in them. Just take them off and we can strip the alternator further. Now we have our Phillipses out. There's no need marking the alternator how it fits, because there's only one way how the alternator itself can assemble. So all of what we have to do now, we just have to dismantle the alternator. Seen in my previous videos, all what you have to do is just tap the bottom bracket, and the top bracket with the stator should come back up. It will come apart easily because it's already been taken apart, so it'll be no issue taking it off. Now we have it back off. That's how it should look. The stator should be attached to it, and the front with the rotors here. We can put that away for now. Now, as you guys can see, the brush inside there, it's actually broken, the top one, but that doesn't matter because that's from being taken apart. The main problem is here. If you look in, see this diode there. In all of them that I ever done, this was ever what was happening. This will completely burn. The diode will gone, and this will completely melt and burn. Sometimes the entire section here, the entire plastic section here, could be melted into one piece. And this is the only problem I have ever seen with these particular alternators. And the replacing of it is very simple as well. Now guys, to remove the rectifier and regulator out, what we have to do is to take the 5 8 nuts on the top there and one 13 nut. Now the only thing is, after you take the 13 nut off, it's very important not to lose this plastic insulator that it's underneath it. This is it. Do not lose that. This is very important. It's very important to have this. So put that away and we can remove all the 8 nuts. Now guys, we have our nuts loosened, and usually this will come off very easily. Give it 2 taps. See? Top part came off. Now the only other important thing is, as there was insulator at the top, there's insulator at the bottom. It's stuck just underneath where the other one was stuck. It could be something that could be left on top of the rectifier, but just make sure that after taking this apart, you have 2 insulators, one big one and one smaller one. This is our front cover, so rear cover, we don't need that. I should notice, this is very unusual alternator, there isn't many of them like that, because there's no rear bearing in the alternator. The rear bearing is inside in the pump, and pump is fitting on top of the alternator. It's very unusual, there's not many of them like that, these types. Now guys, this is what we're left with. The regulator and rectifier assembly. Now, normally replacing of the regulator would solve the problem, but there are kits available with the entire assembly there, the regulator and rectifier, and it makes the job of changing this 100 times easier, because otherwise you need a press, you need a lot of different tools, where if you buy entire assembly, all what you have to do, you just have to unsolder 4 connections here, 1, 2, 3, 4, take it off, put new assembly back into it, and solder the new assembly onto it. And that's just what we're going to do. Now guys, I have my soldering iron nice and hot. This is only one of the connections, there's 4 of them, so just show you how to do it on one. Put our soldering iron down, apply a bit of a solder onto it so it'll heat up the connection faster. And as it melts, we just get out our screwdriver and we'll open little crimps there. Sometimes it's more difficult, sometimes it comes off very easily. The main thing is that you do need good soldering iron for it, like. Do the same on the remaining 3 of them, and then we can pull the lot up. Now guys, we have our rectifier unsoldered, all the 4 connections are soldered. Now, if you have any difficulty removing the actual assembly up, what you can do, remember that you're going to replace in the rectifier an entire thing with the plastic bottom and all. So if you have any trouble dismantling or anything like that, remember that you can cut the plastic or destroy the part that you're replacing, because it's going to be replaced anyway, but not to damage this part. Now we have that unsoldered. As I said, it mightn't be the easiest job sometimes to remove them or to pull them up. Over the years I've seen that it could be quite a challenge to actually take the assembly off the wires. Now if you're doing it yourself, you might clean the ends of the wires there, or just maybe give them shot of solder, make them nice and clean, but we're not going to bother. Just place your assembly over the 4 wires and slide it down. Make sure the wires are coming up nice and free, they're not catching anything, they're not bending up. Now guys, you wonder how deep should you push in the rectifier. Now if you look in here, there's a phase end point here on the stator, the big gathering of wires, and there's a little cap for it to go to. Just push it down so it'll go into it easily, not too low. Then just level the entire assembly so it kind of stays on one level, and that's it. It doesn't have to be that accurate either, because it's not so important. Now push down your wires, crimp the connections. They don't have to be crimped very hard, just basically press it together. Now we have our soldering iron nice and hot. Put it down. Bit of our solder to start melting, and just apply a tiny bit to it. And that should be it. As you can see, we have a nice lovely shiny joint there, and this will hold it. Do the same with the rest of them and we can continue assembling it. Now guys, this is our assembly, soldered and all. Now while we're talking about it, as you can see the brushes in it. Why? Because there is a copper wire holding them back. If we pull them out, see how the brushes come out? Now we want to do that at the end of the job when this is soldered and all. Want to pull out the copper wire, don't forget it, so the brushes are going to be left free and free. Now this is done. Remember about our insulators. Get yourself a small one. Slide it over the power connection here, and now we can put down our cover onto it. Now get yourself a cover. It's easy to know how it goes. You see this big hole there. This is for the positive terminal, which is this one. So basically match the big hole with the positive terminal. Slide it down. Now, once you have slid it down, get yourself a hammer and give the aluminium cover a few taps so it'll sit down nicely on the stator. The gap here will close. Now, get our nuts, tighten all our small 8 nuts. There's 5 of them. Put our big insulator in here, slide it down, nut over it. Now the insulator goes the opening side outside. Tighten this, tighten our 5 little nuts. Now guys, with this done, all our nuts are tightened. The gap here is closed, so this is ready for assembling. Now just remember one thing, when you're handling the stator, the entire thing, make sure that this doesn't get damaged. The best thing to do is put the cloth over the vise if you're using on the vise like that, because you don't want the stator to get damaged. Now I'm not doing it because I'm used to doing it and I'm not going to be damaged. I'm not going to damage it. But if you're doing it and you're not used to do it, you put the cloth over the vise and pay attention to the stator, not to damage it at all with the screwdriver or anything. Now guys, when we have this done, it's time to assemble the 2 halves together. Now you'd wonder, how are we going to shove the rotor down through the brushes, because there are brushes there at the bottom, as you can see. And how are we going to shove the rotor without breaking them off? Now you see the little hole in there, and at the back there you have a little hole as well, here, just on the top. So what we'll do is, we get ourselves our trusted needle made out of the spring. Now we use our fingers to pull down the brush. See, brushes will go down. They have holes in them as well, so it makes that job a bit easier. And now we just feed our spring through it. So push the brushes in and out tiny bit. Move the spring a bit, maybe give it a twist or something. And that should be it. And if you look inside, brushes are held back. So now we can safely put 2 halves together. As I said again, there's no need marking the alternator, because you have this part, there's only one lug on the back, and this lug goes to the heavy one there. So slide the lot down so it'll match together. Now the brushes are held back. Get your 4 big Phillips screws, put them down, and we can tighten them now. Now guys, we have our 4 bolts tightened. The alternator is spinning nice and freely now. We can pull out our needle. You can hear a little hum of the brushes now. See, the gaps there are closed, so this is perfect. Now the next step is to put our pump down. Now when you're putting your pump down, I know you can't see it, but inside there in the pump there is a, oh, you can actually see it alright. There's a fitting there. You see it's off center now. So what you want to do is turn it up so you can see it. Set the piece so it's on the middle, because it's actually loose in there. Set the piece so it's in the middle. Turn it upside down. Put your finger down. Make sure the piece is in the middle and down. Now move the pump slowly. It's very simple. But the important thing is that the center part where the splines are is in the center, and then you can easily move it onto the alternator. Now, as I said, this is asymmetric, so there's only one way this vacuum pump will fit on that alternator. Once we have the vacuum pump down, get your three 10 bolts, fit them on, tighten them, and this alternator is basically going to be ready for action. And as I said, over all the years, or as many of them as I've seen, every time this was the problem. The rectifier itself is a problem, and as I said, not much point getting the rectifier on its own, because there's a lot of work, there's a lot of little screws there. You'd have to press out the little connections, take the plastic out, dismantle the regulator just to change the rectifier. And these assemblies are available on eBay, so you'll be better off getting the entire assembly rather than struggling trying to change a rectifier if you can get it. I do know that them rectifiers aren't available on the market at the moment. Now guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. As you have seen, this job is quite easy and it doesn't require a lot of tools, just 8, 10 and 13 sockets and soldering iron. And once you have this will do the job for you. This will replace it for you. And once the alternator you have is repaired like that, it will do another 60,000-80,000 miles easily, because they are the only things that ever give trouble in them. And the new alternators can be very expensive. They could cost in excess of 500-600 euro, because they are quite complex. They have a vacuum pump and they have a large clutch pulley on it. That's what makes it so expensive. But once you have the rectifier and regulator change, this will solve it. Hope you liked the video, and please subscribe and stay with us for more videos to come. Cheers!